Alright, so we're gonna start again and gonna get back into drawing. So this is the original drawing. There's the layers locked there. And then you got this is our layer. You wanna these things um, hide and unhide. So that's the drawing that we're working on. That's the under drawing where you're trying to reproduce. This is a drawing that I had done previously, so it's not like I'm copying somebody else's work per se, but in any event, whatever. There is, obviously a tradition in like studying art. You copy a master draftsman's work, and yeah. But in any event, um, uh, it's a bit of tracing, but that's mostly just a process wise. Um, save tell myself some time. Well, it's essentially a similar thing to, a painter will do like an under drawing, and then they'll work from that drawing, and then paint on top of it. It's like, and just like willy nilly just throw paint on there if they're trying to like make it look like the object they're trying to paint. I mean, it's cool if you don't want to make it look like the thing, but it's kind of an aesthetic thing. And there's like degrees of like, does it look like the thing? Well, it looks a little bit like it, but anyway. So let's just get right into it. We're just gonna. So basically, we're looking for areas of like light and dark, and those little shapes, and we're trying to like reproduce those. And that once you get enough of them, and it starts to look like the thing that you're trying to draw. I know it sounds simple, and it is. Although drawing is not necessarily simple. Alright. So I got a mark layer, that's why it's not writing. Alright. So there we go. I did a little overdo it. That's why I kind of like, even though I don't always like this digital drawing, which is not the same as, this is not AI. Don't get confused. This is not AI. This is a digital drawing. I am physically drawing this on a tablet. Um, so anyway, um, just kind of, we always want to look back to our reference image. That's a pretty common thing. Whether you're drawing something directly from life or a picture, um, you're making like little measurements, right? You're like, okay, where's this? Where's that? Um, and you just try to like build it up. Essentially. Um, it's actually kind of good though. I think I lost a little bit of what I had been working on previously, but I don't get too upset about these sort of things because it's like it's a process, right? Drawing is a process. And it's gonna go. It's gonna look like it's going sideways. At oftentimes. At least with my process. Like there's ways to do it where it's like, oh, I've got it all planned out, and that's cool. I kind of wish I had a better process like that as far as like, you know, actually producing the art. makes it a little bit more complicated. And you can't get it like out faster, but I don't know. Not trying to be very precise about certain, especially certain um, little angles. You know what I mean? And they don't have to be 100% precise, but you'll know a difference if you didn't get it right. Like I didn't get that one right, so it's a little bit more flat than that. See, the nice thing about this is I can erase all that to as if it was never there. So it's a lot more workable than some other forms, some other medium. So make a little observations, right? So it's just layering on and it's a form of mindfulness, I really think. The drawing process, it's like you really kind of need to be paying attention to what you're doing, or it's not going to come out the way that you try. It never comes out precisely the way that you want it to, but you know, you work it to a point where it's like satisfactory. There's always the debate, you know, when is it done? Well, you know, I guess it's done when it's done. For me, sometimes it's just done when I'm done working with it. I'm like, there's not much else I can do. I mean, theoretically, I could put more time and effort into it, but and you know, this is something that I've come back to as far as this particular image. I like the image. I lost the picture, and you know, I'd like to be able to reproduce it. And you know, a lot of times you make a bunch of like the fine artists of the past. A lot of times they would make like many study drawings, not just like a single one. But you know, it's trying to work out these little things like, oh, how exactly do I need to? What do I need to do to make this like look the way that I want it to, right? And there's like a lot of ways to go about it. You could say, you know, it's not exactly like it's an art because it's not, you know, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have value, and because it most certainly does. And so you know, this whole AI art thing, it's a little disconcerting, a little annoying, but I don't know. I try not to worry about it too much. You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. What am I going to do about it? I don't like it. I wish I could change it. But I can't do anything about it. Other than beat them at their own game. I just kind of out art the robots. And I don't dislike robots. And they're not exactly robots. Because what the purpose is, they're trying to capitalize on art through a means that is, you know, it's, I don't know, I don't feel like it's ethical per se. I mean, I believe AI can, like, be part of a workflow. I mean, it could be an interesting thing to, like, have an image that you're working from that was developed by AI, but I don't really consider AI art. It's not a human. That doesn't have, I don't know. Maybe robots will have souls, but they don't now. That I know. That I know for sure. They just don't. Like technology in general. Not necessarily bad. I obviously don't dislike technology altogether, but it can be cumbersome. It can be overcomplicate certain things. You know, um, it takes quite a bit of technology to simulate a physical drawing experience because, and it does. It's not an exact reproduction because I can't do exactly what I would do if I were drawing this physically with charcoal, right? But I mean, essentially, I'm using some very similar techniques. I mean, I'm looking at the for drawing, especially when you're not getting into all the color and all that, your main focus is to kind of get um, the form of it, um, the, the tone, like the light and dark, like the gradations, that sort of thing. I don't know, and there's other parts of it that are like not really easy to explain. It's actually just like, just trust me. But I need a specific answer. Well, I can't give you that. How do you do it? Well, watch the video. I'm doing it right now. If you pay attention, you might get something out of it. I don't know. I mean, I don't expect you to draw like this because it took a while to work out that previous drawing, a lot of trial and error. So I'm already starting from a fairly good point where I've kind of worked out, like, because that's a whole process too, like figuring out what really is the light and dark of it. This at least I've already kind of accentuated those aspects, so it makes the process a lot easier. Uh, Yeah, it's one of the troubles of this is that jumping back and forth between different layers, and it's easy to lose track because there's a certain way you have to do it. So it's a little bit more complicated than it took a little while, and I'm still learning. Um, and I have other programs that I can use as far as this type of thing goes, Illustrator, Photoshop, that sort of thing. Um, so some of it's a matter of, it saves time by drawing this way. Also, it's easier to reproduce. If I do one drawing, and if I'm not famous and I do one drawing and I spend 20 hours on that drawing, and then I give somebody my drawing, doesn't quite usually work out monetarily. I'd either have to ask a large sum of money for it, which eventually might be a thing, but right now it doesn't seem to be that way, but that's all right. Um, so that's another nice thing about this thing. I can take this image and I can take it and have it printed and sell prints. So I have more copies of the artwork, and not exactly the same thing, but it, you know, I definitely am spending time doing this. So, it's I think you, if you're an artist that's trying to make any sort of money off of your artwork, you have to think about these logistical things, unfortunately, because, most likely you're not just going to get a patron that's going to just cover all your expenses for indefinitely. I mean, it happens, but usually there's caveats and whatnot attached to that sort of situation. So I find that it's not usually worth all that. And so it's also about with like the angle that you're approaching it with the brush, and or the pen or whatever. Um, let's see, what else? So, I mean, if you're drawing a cartoon, it's nice to have hard outlines, but you got to be a little bit more picky about where your line quality, where things are darker, where the lines are thicker, and all that. It gives the effect, the illusion, because this is a flat thing. It's not, but it gives the illusion of a thing that's right in front of you. Ain't that something? It's funny. I'm like trying to brush off the like as if there were pencil dust. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I don't have enough. Like, I haven't worked with the digital enough to get like super good hang of it, but it certainly helps having drawing skill to make it work. But there are definite advantages to working digitally. Sort of like with like photography, for instance, right? Like film is great and it's awesome and it looks really cool and um, you know, but it's time consuming. It's usually more time consuming than a digital version, and people seem to value the film more, which I can understand why. But um, the these days there was a long period of time where the digital was not up to snuff. Like, you still look at like the old like Twilight Zone. It was shot with film, and they've remastered it, and it looks like better than most HD cameras. It's crazy. It's because they had a person that knew what they were doing, and just the technology of film was very good. Um, you know, but the, the the digital's starting to catch up as far as reproduction quality wise, stuff like that. Um, it's a different process, you know. But as far as like one thing I will say for sure is that it like definitely like logistics wise it makes it a lot simpler to deal with. Which simpler isn't always better, but if you're trying to make money doing anything, if you can do it faster and make more product and still have a good quality, why wouldn't you? So, but film is a different ball game, and you know, if you have the capital and you have the time and patience, there are people willing to pay for that extra craftsmanship that it clearly takes to deal with film. Because you, but I don't know. Let's see, where are we at with this? How's that looking? Alright, I think I'm about out of time for this particular video. But we've made some progress here on boots. They look a little better than they did before. And I hope you learned something. If not, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.